uMkhonto, the national convener of the Liberation War veterans. I'm not going to take much of your time. Comrade Dan Hato, is it Bobo? Comrade Bobo will give the background. Comrade Dan Hato will give the background, and then Comrade Bobo Pemba will read the statement. We'll immediately after that take questions from the media. Thank you. Go Dan.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you, Comrade Muchusi. It is a pleasure to be here today. As you would know that uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans came after the all-inclusive conference of military veterans of uMkhonto weSizwe, which was held in East London in April 2022. That conference was a culmination of a decision of the highest making body of the African National Congress, the National Executive Committee, in its conference, the 54th conference of the ANC in 2017. This was after there was some sort of disunity within members of the former liberation movement of the ANC, uMkhonto weSizwe. That decision taken by the NEC in 2017 was giving marching orders to both entities that were in existence at that time, that is uMkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association under the late KP Maphatswe, may his soul rest in peace. And there was uMkhonto weSizwe National Council. The NDC of the ANC gave these marching orders to all military veterans of uMkhonto weSizwe that they need to unite. And that marching order was carried out by a committee that was set up by the African National Congress, comprising of senior military commanders of uMkhonto weSizwe, chaired by General Msimang, retired, and there are quite a number of other senior MK members in that committee. The committee ultimately managed to take members of uMkhonto weSizwe to a conference in East London. The outcomes of that conference were the new association called uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War Veterans, replacing the old association which was called uMkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association. As media people, you would have known that after the conference, there were hiccups. In fact, even at the conference, some few people staged a walkout in the conference. Others came back to the conference. Others, after the conference, decided to take the ANC to court. We have been in the forefront of trying to implement resolutions of the 2022 all-inclusive MK conference. Unfortunately for us, there were those who they are still there in fact, who wanted to bring through the back door the disbanded uMkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association, despite the fact that members of uMkhonto weSizwe had gone to a conference, they came up with a new leadership and a new name, but because of their own shenanigans, I would say so, they wanted to continue playing the guitar. According to the Military Veterans Act of 2011, all military veterans associations are members of an umbrella body called the South African National Military Veterans Association, which encompasses all military veterans associations. And I won't be surprised if most of you have heard little of this association except 2 weeks ago when they won a court case against the Minister of Defense. So it is through that court order that uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans felt that being disciplined soldiers of uMkhonto weSizwe, representing the majority of uMkhonto weSizwe military veterans who are supposed to be part of this umbrella body called South African National Military Veterans Association, SANVA in short. That court order is instructing the minister to support or assist SANVA within 6 months to go to a SANVA conference. This is an umbrella body that has been in office for more than 10 years. They were supposed to have gone to a conference in 2018. That has never happened. We have then decided as uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans to take up the matter, even if we have to go to court, because of the fact that we believe SANVA is inviting illegal entities to be part of this process of going to conference at the exclusion of uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans. We have decided that at this juncture we need to set the record straight. We have tried everything to follow legal processes based on the Military Veterans Act of 2011. After the conference in East London, we have requested the Minister of Defense to formally recognize uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans as a successor in title of MKMVA. That letter was written to both the Department of Military Veterans and SANVA itself. uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans was still rejected by SANVA. We then asked the minister to write a second letter, which was again written in 2024, to introduce uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans as the successor of MKMVA. That also was ignored by SANVA. We then looked for a political situation and asked the Secretary General of the African National Congress. You'd recall that MKMVA, these are soldiers of uMkhonto weSizwe. uMkhonto weSizwe was a former liberation movement of the African National Congress. So these associations from uMkhonto weSizwe, their mother body is the African National Congress. That letter I'm referring to was also written in 2024 submitted to the Department of Military Veterans and also submitted to the South African National Military Veterans Association. Up to this date, uMkhonto weSizwe is still left out of the South African National Military Veterans Association, and we believe it is for nefarious reasons because of the fact that we have done everything legally to make sure that uMkhonto weSizwe is part of the South African National Military Veterans Association. What this umbrella body has done is to invite a legal entity, which is uMkhonto weSizwe Military Veterans Association, to be part of the so-called roadmap, the roadmap that will take them to conference. It worries us a bit for an association that could not go to conference for more than 10 years. And when there was an order of the court, they are in a position to go to conference within 2 months, as they envisage to go to conference by the end of August. And it is our belief that this is done solemnly to exclude uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans, the rightful representatives of uMkhonto weSizwe military veterans nationally. So we are of the opinion that we are calling upon the leadership of South African National Military Veterans Association to stop what they are doing in trying to push out MKLWV out of this process. We are of the opinion that we have a right to be part of a conference that will bring an entity that will assist military veterans of uMkhonto weSizwe and other associations that are in dire need of a better life. With those few words, colleagues, I felt that it should be important for us to give a background as to why today we decided that the people of South Africa need to know that despite all the efforts that have been done by our association, there are still individuals who want to bring illegal entities by the back door through the umbrella association of military veterans. I will at this stage probably hand over to Comrade Muthusi for the press statement read by our National Commissar, Comrade Bobo Pemba. Thank you.
Thank you, Comrade Bobo. If you are ready to read the statement, please do. Thank you.
Thanks, Comrade Muthusi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobo Pemba. I am the National Commissar of uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War Veterans. uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War Veterans, MKLWV. The roadmap audaciously lists the defunct MKMVA as a representative association of MK veterans. Let it be known to all, MKMVA is no more. It was dissolved with the full and democratic participation of all bona fide MK veterans during the historic All MK Unity Conference in East London in 2022, following the ANC's 54th National Conference resolution of 2017. That resolution bathed the uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War veterans, the sole legitimate and democratically constituted voice of all uMkhonto weSizwe veterans. In 2024, The Minister of Defense and Military Veterans formally affirmed this unity by writing to the Secretary General of SANVA. It is therefore not only incorrect, but also deceitful and reactionary to smuggle MKMVA through the back door of the National Roadmap. We view this conduct not merely as an administrative blunder, but as a nefarious and calculated attempt to sow divisions amongst MKLW veterans. The majority of our veterans are united, conscious, and unwavering behind MKLWV. We issue a stern warning to the rogue elements attempting to resuscitate the long-buried MKMVA. They were part of the East London Unity Conference and endorsed the resolutions. They witnessed and participated in the birth of MKLWV. Any attempt to backtrack now is an act of political betrayal and counter-revolutionary opportunism. We therefore demand, 1, the immediate withdrawal of MKMVA from the SANVA roadmap and its replacement with MKLWV. A formal public apology from the Secretary General of SANVA for this blunder. 3, full recognition of MKLWV as the sole representative of MK military veterans. 4, no SANVA National Conference will be held without MKLWV. 5, formation of a national preparatory task team composed of representatives of all recognized member associations. Call to action. We call on the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans to ensure that SANVA conducts its affairs in a transparent, lawful, and fair manner. 2, guard against the abuse of SANVA as a tool for a political agenda and artificial divisions. Ensure all legitimate and recognized military veterans associations are duly represented in the upcoming SANVA National Conference. Let us remind all, unity was not a gift, but a hard-won outcome of struggle and consensus. Any attempt to reverse this is a betrayal of our collective history and the martyrs who laid down their lives for the liberation of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Dan. We will then take questions, if any. Anyone here will respond to the questions. Okay, cool. Samkelo.
What is the main thrust of SANVA not accepting MKWV into and recognizing this particular structure after the disbandment of MKMVA? What is the main thrust of their refusal to accept the letter from the minister, to accept a political negotiated settlement, and ultimately to remove MKMVA and put MKWV? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Samkelo. We deliberately tried to give a background to this saga. That's why when we're making an introduction, we started in 2022. And you would recall that MKMVA was an association that comes from the struggle that was waged by the African National Congress and other liberation movements. Therefore, it has to account to the African National Congress. And we believe that the main thrust, as we have said, to us is just a question of being dishonest and not truthful with the information that is at hand. Because, let me give a background, as we were applying to be registered, with SANVA, they kept telling us that they only recognize the association that started the South African National Military Veterans Association, which was to us a flimsy excuse, because after the conference, uMkhonto weSizwe Liberation War Veterans, as I've said, has gone through all the processes, and we've gone through the processes after being advised by the powers that be, that is the Department of Military Veterans, and we tried many ways of doing that, writing memos, until we then decided that let's write a letter. I mean, the minister needs to write a letter on his signature. And we're of the opinion that there's nothing else except that people who are leading SANVA are only there representing themselves, not representing the military veterans. As I've said, that SANVA is an umbrella body. Whatever resources association need or want, they have to go through SANVA. You can call any military veteran anywhere, probably even on the street, a military veteran, and ask that military veteran, what has SANVA done in its 12 years of existence for the military veterans? I can bet my last penny that they will tell you that zilch has been done by SANVA, despite the resources that they do get from the Department of Military Veterans. So the main trust to us is, as I said, is just a question of people who are dishonest, who want to continue eating whatever they are eating. And we are saying that has to come to an end, because military veterans out there, they are in dire straits, and they need whatever resources to improve their dire situation. Thank you. Yes.
Well, some people will ask themselves, why am I here? I have an interest here because I'm one of the MK commanders, and number one. Number two, I'm one of the organizers of the conference that took place in 2022, merging the two entities on the instructions of the ANC. And it was a Liberation War Veterans, not recognized by Department of Military Veterans. We then asked the SG to write a letter directly to Department of Military Veterans to inform them that the legitimate structure of former MK combatants who fall under the ANC is MK Liberation War Veterans and not MKMVA, because MKMVA and MK Council were dissolved in 2024. The SG has done that. And so it means that MKMVA, we don't know who do they represent, being in SANVA. And so that is why we are saying that they are trying their level best to bring factional politics within MK Liberation War Veterans, which we are not interested in that at all. And so I think we agree with what as the Veterans League, with that MK Liberation War Veterans is doing, to make sure that SANVA has the right to disband, to take out MKMVA, because we don't know who are they representing. And if they are representing MK people, they are not, those MK individuals are not members of the African National Congress or of uMkhonto weSizwe. Now, the organization that is recognized by the African National Congress is MK Liberation War Veterans, not MKMVA.
I'll take any follow-up question, if any. Okay. It means, President, that this was a clear message. Seems like the media is happy with what you have delivered. We will share the statement with the media for record purposes and for their own reference, but also if there are requests for one-on-one interviews, I believe that the leadership will be ready to take those. Thank you, and thank you for coming to this media briefing. Thanks a lot.
Okay.